We have our first splash of the NFL offseason. It is reported that LeSean "Shady" McCoy is going to be traded to the Buffalo Bills in exchange for Kiko Alonso next week. It'll be finalized. And over the past 2 years, Chip Kelly has now gotten rid of DeSean Jackson, which was arguably the best deep threat or one of the best deep threats in the league. And now Shady McCoy, who is arguably one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the NFL. But Riley Cooper is still a Philadelphia Eagle. Now, when I hear that, I sit there and scratch my head. And it makes me question Chip Kelly's decision-making. I know he's in charge in Philly, but is getting rid of your best offensive players really smart? Is Chip Kelly's system really that great? I'll answer these questions next. Welcome back to the Best Damn Sports Blog. Back again, this time to talk NFL because we have trade news. Shady McCoy looks to be headed to Buffalo in exchange for Kiko Alonso. And when I first heard that this trade was going down, I scratched my head and I'm thinking like, what is Chip Kelly doing? I understand that the running back position is interchangeable, especially to him and his system, because he thinks his system is oh so mighty and godly. But to give up LeSean "Shady" McCoy, I'm not sure I agree with that one at all. Out of his 6 NFL seasons, Shady McCoy has only gone under 1,000 yards twice. Last year, he had 1,300 yards, 5 touchdowns. The year before, 1,600 yards, 9 touchdowns. Like I said, I understand that the running back position is now interchangeable in today's NFL, and especially to Chip Kelly and his system. But LeSean McCoy, his production, I don't think can be duplicated. This is one of the best backs in the NFL as of right now. And I don't think he will be easily replaced unless you are able to get a DeMarco Murray. I mean, LeSean McCoy is just 26 years old. Running backs usually start falling off around 30. So I believe at the least he has 2 to 3 more great seasons in him at the running back position. And he's also a dual threat, which you can set up out wide. And he's great at catching the ball out of the backfield. Other than Jamal Charles, he is the most well-rounded running back in the NFL in my estimation. And now within the past 2 years, Chip Kelly has gotten rid of DeSean Jackson, his best deep threat, and now LeSean McCoy, his best running back. Both players that are top 5 in their specialties. DeSean Jackson is definitely a top 5 deep threat, and LeSean McCoy is definitely a top 5 running back in the NFL. So I think Chip Kelly is getting a little bit ahead of himself because Chip Kelly in his 2 seasons is only 20-12. He's made the playoffs once, hasn't won a playoff game. But the stat that is most telling about Chip Kelly's tenure in Philly is versus winning teams, the Eagles are just 3-11. Yes, I said it correctly. 3-11 against winning teams. That's a 27% win percentage. And that goes unsaid that that's not very good. And I sit back and think, yes, we know Chip Kelly is in charge of football personnel decisions in Philly, but it makes you question just what direction does he plan on going in? DeSean Jackson going? I don't think it's a coincidence that Nick Foles took a step back without his best deep threat target in Philly. And there's rumors that Macklin won't be re-signed, so now the Eagles are at square one at receiver, and now they have no running back either, unless Darren Sproles is still under contract, which I'm not 100% sure of. And to me, he's not a number 1 running back. But I don't want it to go unsaid the fact that, let's not forget when DeSean Jackson, prior to him being released, there was information being leaked that he had gang ties, basically trying to defame this man, and it was coming from the Eagles organization. Now, I sit back and I think, maybe these decisions are more personal decisions by Chip Kelly than they are personnel decisions. Because, like I said, that's their best deep threat. Nick Foles looked to be affected by not having DeSean Jackson. And now this season, you are without your best running back. And yes, running back is an interchangeable position. But let's not act like LeSean "Shady" McCoy is over the hill, because he's far from it. He has over 600 touches the last 2 seasons, most in the NFL. And maybe that's a reason why Chip thinks that maybe he is starting to decline. I don't agree with that. He's just 26 years old, in his 6th season, heading into his 7th. So I can't understand the logic of getting rid of a player that dynamic. I understand you want to save cap space, but at the end of the day, if you want to win championships, you need to have a good running game. LeSean Shady McCoy is a dual threat at the running back position. To me, this came down to personal decisions by Chip Kelly rather than personnel decisions. Because in the trade, he brought in Kiko Alonso, who is not to mention coming off an ACL tear, did not play all last season. But in his one season, I will give Kiko Alonso the benefit of the doubt. In his one season played, he was fantastic for the Buffalo Bills, totaling 159 tackles, 4 interceptions, and 2 sacks. And not to mention, he is also an every down linebacker. And he has also been compared to Luke Kuechly, who is definitely one of the great linebackers in this league. I understand from that standpoint of getting Alonso, shoring up your defense. But at the expense of your best running back and probably one of the 3 best running backs in the NFL, I find it mind-blowing until I came across this reality. Kiko Alonso went to the University of Oregon. Chip Kelly coached him at Oregon. And now Chip Kelly has 9 different Oregon Ducks that he has coached on this Eagles roster. So basically, Chip is shipping out the guys that are actually producing and bringing in guys that he likes. That's not to say Alonso won't produce, but 9 different Oregon Ducks, I find that to be an astonishing amount. But everything is A-okay if you're winning. But the problem is Chip Kelly hasn't done much winning. And when I say winning, I mean winning playoff games, making a deep playoff run. Yes, this is just his 3rd season that he's heading into, but he just missed the playoffs last year, and he continues to ship out his best players. Now, Chip Kelly, I know he's this offensive guru. He believes so, at least, and he thinks that his system is the greatest system and the best system of all time. But it's about time we start seeing some results this upcoming season, especially with Shady McCoy going. I expect the Eagles to make the playoffs since Chip Kelly wants to ship out his best talent. Show us that your system is really the greatest. Show us that your system made Deshaun Jackson and LeSean McCoy greater than they really are. I want you to show us, and you can show us that by actually making the playoffs next year without McCoy, without Deshaun Jackson, because last year without Jackson you weren't able to, and I doubt you will be able to this year without Jackson and McCoy. As for the Bills, I understand why they made this trade. They just brought in Rex Ryan, who is somewhat offensively challenged, but we do know he likes to run the ball. Although I would say Shady McCoy isn't an in-between the tackles type of back. But if he is utilized right, adding a top 5 running back to your roster will only improve the offense. But the Bills' biggest problem has been their offensive line. It is in shambles. And like I said, McCoy is not a back that runs through the tackles. So if your offensive line is already in shambles, and I wouldn't say he's a stout type of running back, that could turn out to be something problematic for the Bills and LeSean McCoy. But I still think he'll be an above 1,000-yard rusher in Buffalo. But there are reports coming out that he's going to make it tough on Buffalo because he does not want to go there. He's a Pennsylvania kid who went to high school in Pennsylvania, went to Pitt in college, played for the Eagles, and now he's shipped to Buffalo. And I can understand his frustration because he stood by Chip Kelly after the Riley Cooper fiasco, and he actually bought in the Chip Kelly system. But this is a business, and LeSean has to understand that. So I don't like the whole I might hold out thing that Josina Anderson of ESPN is reporting that McCoy will most likely do because he doesn't want to be in Buffalo. I find that to be unprofessional. But hopefully things work out. He reports to Buffalo. Maybe they give him a contract extension, and that will be good for Shady McCoy. He'll get the long-term security he's looking for. And I think he should embrace this move to Buffalo. Not to mention the Eagles are on the Bills' schedule, so he definitely will have a chance to show Chip Kelly exactly what he is missing.